Good evening, Wesley Guild members and all our viewers at home. One heart, one way. Today it's another day that the Lord have given us, and in this day, even if in the end of it, we shall still rejoice in his goodness. Once more again, we are meeting here for our empowerment and developing our young people. And tonight we have an interesting topic that talks about love. And it says, do not arouse love. So our speaker will go in depth in terms of that topic. But come, let me invite you to the time of prayer. Let us pray. Egameni loyise nelonyana nelomoya ingcwele yisebe Nkosi yethu enguYesu Kristu mdali wezulu nomhlaba nasekutshoneni kwelanga somandla sibulela uthando lwakho unguThixo wena osithandayo osigcinayo ngamaxesha onke unathi Nkosi emini nasebusuku. Even Lord, in this evening, we know that your presence is with us. Sikhumbula Nkosi amazwi kaMoses awawatshoyo wathi Nkosi uba ngaba uzohamba nathi ungasivumeli sisuke kule ndaba. But Lord, now at this time we know that you are present, and Lord, you will continue to journey with us as we continue to empower one another, as we continue, Lord, to learn from one another. Bless your servants that will be leading us. Nangongos Unabisa, who will be leading us tonight. We ask, Lord, for your power. May her lips moya ingcwele athethe Nkosi iqiniso lakho elizawunceda umuntu liphilise umuntu. Sikelela ke Nkosi sonke kumakhaya ngamakhaya in this cold weather. Protect us moya ingcwele against all odds. Khona Nkosi izinto esimelene nazo, kodwa xa sinawe Nkosi siyazi uba sinezinto zonke. Sisikelele ke Nkosi usithambisa nxelise ngelo gama elihle elinamandla lenkosi yethu uYesu Kristu. Amen. And friends, tonight, without wasting time, we have our special guest. Our special guest is none other than our friend, old Gilder, Sister Nwabisa Xana from East London. Ungumama womanyano walapha ekhaya. She was born a Lady Frey and currently East London. She's an attorney by profession and lecturing in the School of Legal Practice in East London. Founder of what is known, and please follow it, Nwabisa Talk, and do tune in on it. You will really learn a lot. And also her passion is on women empowerment and development. Without wasting time, I now hand over to you, Sis Nwabisa, to lead us tonight in this conversation. And those of us who will be listening at home, you may use our Facebook platform to write your questions, and I have requested our sister Siyathokoza Mesajwa, who will be reading questions and pose them to our guests for tonight. So stay tuned and do not leave. Over to you, Sis Nwabisa.
Thank you, Mfundisi. Good evening, Mfundisi, and to all the viewers, especially to the members of the Wesley Guild. I greet you all in the wonderful name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you for this warm welcome. First of all, let me take this opportunity and thank the members of the Wesley Guild for inviting me to be part of this conversation tonight. Indeed, this is a great topic and it is very close to my heart because it involves nurturing women, especially the young generation of women. As we all know that in the Wesley Guild, or Wesley Guild is an organization of young people with young ladies who are still looking for love and who are aspiring to get married one day. We know that Wesley Guild has produced marriages, so it is important that we talk about love in the Wesley Guild and we empower young people about getting into love. Our topic is saying, do not stir up nor awaken love until it pleases or unless it pleases. I think this is originally extracted from the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 4, which reads as follows: I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, do not stir up nor awaken love until it pleases. In simple terms, it is easy. It is just saying, do not arouse love until it pleases. Until it satisfies you and it makes you content. There are two things that are being said here. It is mentioning the arousal of love, and the second thing that is mentioned here, if it pleases. Therefore, in terms of the Bible, it shows that the Bible does approve the arousal of love, but it is saying that you must arouse it only if it pleases and if it meets your desires. So do not arouse love if it does not please you or it does not meet your desires. We know that as ladies, especially young women, we've got a tendency of making a biggest mistake of giving love to men who are not looking for love, and thereafter we cry a foul play. It is important that if we decide to give love, we give love into a right place to a right person, and you must make sure that before you arouse that, it is something that you want or something that you desire. So I'm here to talk about the importance that when you decide to arouse love, you must make sure that it is something that will meet the desires of your heart, or something that you will be content about. But what is important when you decide to arouse love, one thing that is important, you need to understand, you need to know and understand yourself. You must know yourself, you must understand yourself. You cannot expect another person to understand you or to please you if you do not understand yourself. So it is important that you understand what pleases your heart, what gives satisfaction and contentment into your heart. So if you do not know and understand that, you will definitely not know what pleases you. So what is important, you must know what pleases you and what pleases your heart. And then another thing that is important, you must be an expert of your well-being. Nobody else will know you except yourself. And you must understand that you must understand yourself. You become grounded in your values and preferences. It is you will understand your values and your preferences, and you are less likely to say yes when you want to say no. So what is important, understand yourself. Another thing that I would like to say to you is when you know yourself, you are able to make better choices. You are able to make wise choices about everything, starting from small decisions, like which sweater you'll buy, to bring a decision like that, or else coming to decisions of selecting a partner, the person that will spend a life with. So if you are able, you are grounded, you know yourself, you can reach such decisions easily. And then when you know yourself, you will be able to choose someone who will fit into your background. Someone who will fit into a background. That is very important, because background is who we are. So you must choose carefully someone who will fit into a background, into your culture, into your religion, and into your lifestyle. You don't choose somebody who will not fit into that. Otherwise, you will end up being frustrated. You will end up losing yourself. So it is important that whenever you decide to fall in love, you check those things. You cannot want to fall in love and not knowing yourself. Remember, when you will be falling in love, you will be falling in love with another person. So what is important, before you arouse love on another person, you must understand what will please you, what will make you feel content. You must not go and arouse something that will still leave you not content and not happy, because you will end up frustrated at the end of the day. There is a mistake that we make as ladies. We are scared of saying no. Most people, they want to say no, but they are scared of saying no. Don't be scared to say no. My sister, if the guy or the man does not show the signs and the qualities that you want from a man, please just do yourself a favor, say no to that person, and don't do that person a favor. Don't do the man a favor. You say yes because you want to please that person. Because when it's that person's turn, or when that person is done with you, that person will not doubt, will just leave you, will not do you any favors. So it is important that if a person does not show signs or anything, don't entertain. Don't do a favor because you don't want to look like umuntu ofani kula muntu. Again, do not entertain. Do not flirt with a guy knowing very well that what you are looking for, he does not have. He does not have those qualities. Some people, they do this when you're approached by a man. A person continues flirting with that man, knowing exactly that this is not my type, and will tell the friends that no, I cannot date so and so. We are just friends. We'll hide by that, by saying we are friends. And yet he knows that, okay, he accepts the friendship from the beginning, and he moves from that friendship and start to flirt with the person, and knowing deep down this is not the kind of a man that he wants, but she wants, but all that she is enjoying is the attention. If you do that, it is very wrong and it is very dangerous. You must be careful of that. And remember, when you decide to flirt, it takes two to flirt. So if you say that it is him who is flirting with you, no, you are wrong, because you are also responding to what the person is saying or to what the guy is saying. And then that makes you to be part of that flirting. So you must make sure that you stay away from flirting, especially with somebody you have no intentions of getting involved with. And if you continue flirting and leading men on, even if you know that this is not a kind of a person you can be in a relationship with, you must know that you are the person who lacks self-esteem, because you are using that person to fill the void in your heart. You don't have a high self-esteem, so you feel that by getting attention from that person, it feeds your self-esteem. And whereas you know that at the end you will just not allow the person to be part of your life. That is wrong. You just need attention from the man to feed your good, to fill your heart. That is bad. That is not good for yourself as well. And you must know that you are a woman. As a woman, we are like flowers. Men will get attracted because women are beautiful by their nature. So if you are beautiful by your nature, definitely men will be attracted to you. But it is your duty and the responsibility to check whoever gets attracted. That person who gets attracted to you, does the person have the signs and the qualities that you want from a person? You don't just say yes, yes, yes all the time, because some of the people who get attracted to you, they do not have what your heart desires, or they do not fit into your lifestyle or into the kind of a life that you are living. So it is important that you scrutinize the person carefully and be sure that this is the kind of a person that I would love to spend time with. I would love to share my life with. So make sure that before you accept or you arouse any love, you are sure that this is the person you are prepared to share your life with. Some of the men are just admiring you with no intentions of loving you. What is important is some men, they don't have intentions, because they just see a beautiful woman. They just want to engage with a woman and be part of your life for a specific purpose. And then after they have got what they want, they will just leave you like that. And they are all smooth talkers. So it is important that you discern the spirit, and then you read them carefully, and you make sure that they have what you want. Even if you end up arousing the love out of them, at least it is something that you will benefit out of it as well. Even if they have intentions of loving you, some of the men who come to our lives, they do have good intentions. Not all of them have bad intentions. If you've got someone who has good intentions, well, that's good enough. But what is important, even if the person has good intentions, you must read the person carefully. You must try and understand if, okay, this person has good intentions about me. He wants to have a good relationship with me. If the person wants to have a good relationship, is this the kind of a person that I can be able to share my life with? Is this the kind of a person that I will be able to understand? Will he be able to understand me? Is this the kind of a person who will be able to appreciate and be there for me? Or is it the kind of a person that you will be able to appreciate and be there for him for a longer period? You won't get bored at some point. So those are the very important things that you need to check before you get in love or before you arouse any love. But there are things that you need to consider before leading a person, like a relationship. It is like building a house. It is like a house. You cannot just build a house on the ground without the foundation holding it up. So you need that. Same applies to a relationship. You need a foundation. If you are saying that you are ready now to start a relationship, you are ready now to arouse love, there are things that you need to make sure. You must clean your house first and make sure that there are things that are in good order with your life first before you invite another person into your life. You cannot invite another person into your life if your life is not in order. If there is some groundwork that you should lay before getting into a relationship with someone, especially if you want to make it last, definitely each and every one of us, if you get into a relationship, you get into a relationship for the purposes of having it for a longer time. And some of the women, they aspire to get married. So if you enter into a relationship, you enter into a relationship with the hope that you are building something that is solid, something you are building something that will last for a very long time. So you must build your foundation carefully when starting a relationship or when you decide to be involved in a relationship. The first thing that you need to check, it is the timing. Whenever you decide that you want to be in a relationship, check, is the timing right for you to be in a relationship? Is it the perfect, is your everything in order that you can invite another person into your life? Or ubomi bakho buseqhakaqhaka for uba invite another person to be part of your life? Check the timing. If everything in your life is normal, you are able to invite another person to be part of your life. The other thing that you must check, does the person fit into your life? That one is very important. A heart may be ready for a relationship. You may want to have a relationship that with the person, you see, as the emotions, siyayazi laa nto uba ube ne-strong feelings, uthi gubhu umthande ngalo mzuzu, but does the person fit into your life? Lo mntu ngaba utsalwa nguye okanye utsaleka nguye. So it is your responsibility to check that this person is a person ozofitha ebomini bakho. And it is also your responsibility to evaluate your life and make responsible decisions. Don't just enter because usiva into egqabhuzelayo. You need to make responsible decisions. You must know your priorities. You must know that if now you are focusing on your studies, I'm just making an example. If you're a student, you are focusing on your studies and your priority is your studies, make sure that you set your priorities accordingly. You don't just get into something that will disturb your priorities or that will interrupt your priorities. It is that, and that will end up complicating your life, and you do not need that, definitely. And then ask yourself before entering, are you ready to make adjustments in your life? Because when you invite another person into your life, it is highly possible that there are adjustments that you will have to make into your life. There are things that you will have to give up in your life. There are compromises, there are sacrifices, and it might affect your relationship with other people, with your friends, and with other people. So it is important that at all times you must make sure that when you are saying now you are ready to be in love or to be in a relationship, you are ready to do those adjustments, because it comes with a package. Because laa mntu uzofika naye enezinto naye ii-demands zakhe okanye enezinto efuna uba nizenze together. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna be able to make those sacrifices and those adjustments? That will be part of your relationship. So you must be ready for those things. So what we are trying to say, before you enter into a relationship, you must make sure that your house is in order and you know exactly what you want or what your heart wants, and you know that even if your heart wants it, but your circumstances, do your circumstances allow you to be in a relationship at that particular time? Another thing that we must not take for granted, your religious identity. Because if you've got, you don't believe, or your religion is not the same, you believe on different things, then that will be a problem. For instance, if you are about to date someone who is not a Christian and you are a Christian, that person might not understand some of the things that you do. For example, let's say it's Easter weekend. You want to be in church as a Methodist from Thursday up until Sunday, and you are now in a relationship with someone who is not a Christian, or who is not even a Methodist, is a Christian but not a Methodist, does not understand this Easter of the entire long weekend. That person demands that in case you get married, you are married, because marriage starts from relationship and you end up getting married in some cases. Now you want to go and attend the Easter weekend, and the person would say, no. This is a holiday. You must go and go to Ekaya. You are my wife. So how are you going to handle those things? If you had the understanding year religion, that would make things easy. Don't take that for granted, because it does affect a relationship, especially when they grow a relationship, they grow up to the stages of a marriage. Then you become stuck with certain problems. And when you want to enter into a relationship, you must make sure that you leave the past behind. Don't come with a baggage. If you are still holding on things of the past, do yourself a favor. You are not ready for a relationship. Don't enter into a relationship. Don't arouse love, because you are not ready for love at that stage. You must sort yourself first. You must never, ever enter with the baggage of previous relationship or your past, and now you find out you are in this relationship and you're comparing things of this relationship with things of the past. That is very dangerous and may cause harm into your relationship. So it is important that you take care of those things before you enter into a relationship. So that's why we are saying here tonight, do not stir up love, do not arouse love, because if you do that, you are making problems for yourself. If you arouse love whilst you are not ready for love yourself, you must first be ready for love. There are dangers. If you continue, you say, okay, let me take my chances. There are dangers there. You continue arousing love, and yet you know that that kind of love that you are arousing is not pleasing. Therefore, that person, the first danger is that that person might commit to you, might have a serious relationship, or end up getting married to you. You see now, which means you will be now getting married to a wrong person, because the person that you have aroused uthando lwakhe, that person yena uye watsaleka and ukubona njengomuntu onoba inkosikazi yakhe, and now you will get married and you will become stuck in that. Imagine becoming stuck in a marriage for the rest of your life. That is very painful, and you will be miserable. So it is sad and very miserable. You will never find joy. So you must just avoid that, and you will have conflicting priorities. You stay with a person, it is important that you have similar priorities. I know you are two different people with different interests, but you must be able to meet in a common ground. But if you are now attracting somebody that you cannot even reach an agreement on something, then that will be a problem. You will be frustrated. You will never find any peace or any joy. So you will just live a miserable life. And you must know that there will be a stage you will not have anything to talk about. If you are always conflicting, you are always arguing, that affects love. That iyalithoba uthando lwenu ningakwazi ukuthandana ngendlela right, and it affects your communication as well, because you feel that each time you talk you argue. So if each time you talk you argue, someone will just feel, okay, let me just keep quiet, let me not talk, and will end up not having anything to talk about. And you must remember, communication is the key in all relationships. You cannot have a relationship and not have communication. You cannot be married to someone and not be able to communicate. Everything, it starts with a conversation. Even for you to be in that relationship, you started with a conversation. So if you cannot talk, that is a big frustration, and surely your relationship will collapse. So those are the dangers of arousing a wrong love in a wrong place. So you must make sure that you arouse love in a right place so that you can enjoy the love. And if you arouse love in a wrong place, you might end up being lonely in a relationship. It is possible. You get the person, you are in a relationship, but you get lonely there because there is no companionship, there's no compatibility, so you don't feel each other. So it's just boring. So you feel lonely, and the other party might go and find might go and find happiness outside, leaving you because the relationship is boring. You've got nothing to talk about. There's nothing that is exciting about. You don't share common interests. So it is just doomed to fail. And then you will end up seeking attention somewhere else. If you do not find love in the relationship or at home or with the person that you are in a relationship with, you might end up finding love elsewhere. And then if you find love elsewhere whilst in a relationship, it means you are cheating now. Then if you are cheating, it means the relationship is not good. Those are the consequences of arousing love whilst it does not please. You must make sure that it pleases you before you arouse it. And imagine the pain that you develop your relationship, you get married to a wrong person. It's even worse than your present fear of not getting married if you are stuck up with a wrong person. So should you happen to get married, you might end up in divorce. And surely no one wants to divorce. No one wants to get into divorce. You don't want to go through that. It is the worst pain ever. So it is important that whilst you still have an opportunity, you choose right. What is this topic saying actually? It is saying you must choose right. We as women, we get approached fine, but when the person approaches us, we have a right to say no if it is not what you want before you commit or you enter into that. Because should you enter there, uzongena ube sengxakini. Hence kusithiwa nakakutshatiswa kuthiwa umtshato awungenwa ngokungaqondi. Same applies to your relationship. Don't enter it ngokungaqondi because it might end up in a serious relationship. It might end up in marriage. So you will be stuck with that. But there's one thing that you must note about love. Love is beautiful. We must look at the beauty of love as well. Love is a gift from God. Make sure that whenever you are about to start a relationship, it is rooted in God's love. You must invite God. Your search for true love should begin with a prayer. You cannot want to be in love and leave God outside. Remember that God is love. So whatever you want to do, God must be part of it. You must pray. You pray for a partner. You pray for a relationship so that God can guide you to get closer to somebody who will have, you will have common interest. You will share same things, same interest, yes. So invite God, pray about it. It's not bad to pray about it because God is love. God created love, so there is nothing wrong about it. And then on your search for true love, you should begin with a prayer, as I've already mentioned. And you must know that when you search for love, love is patient. It is scripture in the Corinthians. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not boast. Love is not proud. Love includes the feelings for others, but love includes the feelings for the other that goes beyond any selfishness or self-interest. Therefore, if you are in love, you must know that it will go beyond any selfishness or self-interest. It will not be always about you when you are in love. It will be about another person as well. You have to take into consideration the feelings of the other person as well. And love nurtures and has a positive effect on each person's self-esteem and sense of well-being. So it is a good thing to find. If you find love, it's a very good thing that will affect your self-esteem. It will boost it. It gives a sense of well-being. So what I'm trying to say to you, Bantu Abatsha, there is nothing wrong to fall in love. But if you want to fall in love, there are things that you must check. If you want to fall in love, you must understand yourself thoroughly. You must be able to know what will make your heart happy and what will make you feel good. And you must choose a person that you will be able to work together with, because you need someone that will cooperate with you, not someone who will dispute whatever you suggest or whatever you say. You need someone who will be able to encourage you in whatever you are doing. Your partner is someone who's supposed, but if you are doing well, will encourage you that, you've done very well, my love. You must continue doing this. If he sees the passion from you on a certain aspect, that person must motivate you. It must not be somebody oza kudobelela phansi ungahambi indawo. You must not get somebody who will compete with you. There is no competition in love. In love, you just work together as a team. You love each other as a team. Let me just get water. If we have any questions for now.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Sis Nwabisa. Good evening to the viewers at home. My name is Siyathokoza Misatya, as the Reverend Ngombo had already introduced me. There are no questions on Facebook as yet, but I have a couple of myself. I don't know if you want to answer that first before you continue, seeing that you've drank your water.
Yes. You may ask questions.
Okay. There's quite a few points that I jotted down, but I'll just start with the questions that I have. You said you must leave the past behind. You can leave your past behind, but what about the partner that you have gotten into a relationship? How do you handle their past?
The partner's past.
Yes.
Okay.
The second question, or should I continue, or you're going to answer one by one? Okay. The second question I have is, you mentioned the type of people you attract. How true is it that you attract a certain type of breed, and what causes that? For instance, let's say you as a female, you attract broken men. What causes that? And the third question, final question from myself, what happens in the case of opposites attract? You find that you're in constant disagreement or looking down on each other because of this thing, Uguti, you are too different. How do you embrace your differences? I'll stop there for now.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Siyathokoza. Starting from the first question, leaving the past behind, especially the past of the partner. What is important when you enter into a relationship, you need to enter it with honesty. You must both be honest and genuine. And when you enter into a relationship, you must talk. For instance, when you are still in courtship, or you are still trying to understand each other, you talk about the things that you've gone through in your life. You are open about them so that the person understands exactly who is Siyathokoza, and you also understand who that person is. And if you feel, okay, we have talked about these things, we have been open about them, but the person is still struggling to leave the past behind, or the things that he has been through behind, go for counseling. Seek professional help, somebody who will be able to journey with you, who will be able to talk to you and assist the person. Remember, the traumas of the past cannot be healed within a week or within a month. They need time. And other people, must know that the other people, they don't deal with their past. They just leave it like that. They don't talk about it. They don't seek any help about it. And they just go and move to the next relationship without doing anything about their traumas of the past. So it is whereby if you feel that this person has not talked about it or seek professional help about this or about what happened in his past, then it's an opportunity that you go, you advise the person that let's go and seek for professional help so that it does not interfere with our relationship. It does not affect the way we love each other, or we are doing our relationship. I think that's the way of dealing with the past. I know the past can take a long time to deal with, and people, they react differently on things. So what is important, you must talk about it. The fact that you are able to spot it as a partner, that's very good enough. After you have spotted it, what are you doing about it? Are you able to talk to your partner about it? And after you have talked to your partner about it, you must advise your partner to seek professional help. The second question was how true that you attract certain type of breed. It is true. It happens. It happens that you attract certain type of people you attract, a person would attract abusive people. That it happens that you have an abusive relationship and you break out of that abusive relationship, you leave it and you start a new relationship. And the same thing that happened in that relationship, it comes and happen again. But the thing is, it is important to do a self-introspection on yourself as well, because there are signs of things. I think it comes back to this thing of that you must not stir up love until it pleases. Then you must look at yourself. Are you not the one who is quick to stir up love without first dealing? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, without first dealing with your inner battles. Because if you don't deal properly with your inner battles and you are quick to jump into the next relationship, anyone who comes your way, you take, then you will find yourself again stuck into that kind of situation. So it is important you look at yourself. Why am I attracting people of this breed or caliber? And if you know that on my previous relationship, I had a problem, the previous relationship, you spot what was the problem there. When you get out of that relationship, you need to get out of it wide open, checking that on your next move, you don't repeat the same mistakes. I know people, they don't show the true colors of themselves immediately. You learn their true colors along the way. So it is important that you must develop a fine eye to be able, with your experience, you must be able to see the signs. Some of the things, let me make an example of an abuse. An abusive person will be very nice and will not say to you, I'm abusive. And you'll see this charming gentleman, this charming guy, you feel like you've found love. But there are those little things that you must look in between. If you see that, for instance, let me just make an example. You are driving, going to town, and then there is another car overtaking, and that person becomes angry. That is a sign. You'll see at the level of the anger. Was it worth for this person to be angry like this? Do you understand? So those are the little things that you must be able to spot. Then if you ignore those signs, then you will find yourself stuck in that same position again.
Wow, that's deep. Thank you.
Yes. And then opposites attract each other. Ne? What was that question?
Okay, the question was, okay, they say opposites attract, right? But then you find that you are constantly in disagreement with your partner because of the differences that you guys have. Or you're constantly looking down on each other. How do you embrace the differences so that it doesn't lead you in constant argument?
It goes back to what we talked about, ne? When you choose a partner, you must choose somebody that you will be able to understand and who will be able to understand you and embrace you and accept you for who you are. Because if you just choose, it goes back to that issue of choosing a partner. Because if you just choose a person without checking important things, then you will be stuck in that problem of having disputes that you are unable to resolve, of clashing each time. For instance, as I'm growing up, there are things that I've learned in my life. Okay, for instance, the background, it is important. My father used to say, Nwabisa, background is very important. And at that time, that did not make any sense to me, because it's like background yalamtu is not that person. The person is himself. We understand. So the person knows exactly what he wants. But trust me, the background has an influence on who the person is. Ne? If you are coming from a certain background and this person is coming from the other background, which backgrounds are totally different, which backgrounds believe in different things, then you are bound to clash, because the way he sees things, or the way he was brought up, or the way he has been exposed on things is different from the way you have been exposed on things. And you also feel that the way you have been exposed on things is correct, it's right, it's the right way. For instance, let me make the example of the religion. you are a Methodist. And that's what you know. Yes, it's important that you adjust. If you get married, you go and be part of the religion of the husband. That's fair enough. And then, or else, now you choose to get married to someone who does not even believe in God. Who's saying that, no, that is a philosophy, an English philosophy. I try to kozele. You understand? There is no such thing. You cannot be going there. You are taking our time. When you go to church, you are taking our time, and I cannot put up with that. And you see, you start arguing. Remember, the small argument you have, it weakens the love. Do you understand? So those constant arguments, because that person will see you, oh, okay, this one is busy focusing on that church thing, which he does not understand and does not like, and will try now and find love or something from the people who will understand him. You understand? We'll try and we'll communicate on the other side with those people who are speaking his language. Do you understand? And then that's where the cheating comes in. If there is a third person in a relationship, you will constantly clash. Whatever you say is not right. Whatever he is saying is not right. You understand? But if you are people who are talking the same language, you cannot be the same. That I do understand and I do appreciate. But you must be able to reach compromise on certain issues. But if you are in such an extent that even the basics you cannot agree on, then you are sitting with a huge problem. You see? So that's why it is important that when you choose, it goes back to that choosing, that before you arouse love, before you fall in love, those are the key things that you must check. Don't check how you feel, how the person makes you feel, because the feeling will go away at some point and the two of you will have to live together.
True.
So it should not be about that. It should not be about being in love. No, it goes beyond being in love, because there are so many things that are involved there. You will live life. You will raise children one day. Which principles will your love be based on? Or will your family love be based on? Do you understand? It must be a person who is able to respect you as a woman. You see? And now if you get attracted, he's charming, he's handsome, he's got beautiful cars, he's got big businesses, and you get attracted to that, not knowing who the exact person is, the inner person in that person. Is he the man who will be able to respect you as a woman? Or he will be the type of a man who will say, I've bought you a house because you are attracted to his money, ne? He will buy you a house and say, I've bought you a house, stay in that house. So what do you want from me?
What do you want? Yes.
What do you want from me? Because I've bought you a house. You see, the challenge now is it's because you were attracted on things that they do not matter. So you must focus on things which matter.
Wow.
You will get the big car, you will get the house, you will get whatever you want, and you will not find the person. And the person will say, no, I don't have time. I have to go and run that business. You see, that's where your priorities come in now. You know that we are working, we've got businesses, we've got this and that, but where is our love in all this? Is our love a priority? You see? So if you were attracted by materialistic things, then you will have a problem. We will see you and you see? Because this is not what you did not arouse love in a proper way, or love that pleases you. You see, you just boosted your self-esteem to be seen with that particular person. So you never considered exactly what your inner self wants.
Yes, you were never true to yourself. Wow, that's very insightful. Thank you, Sisi. I have one question on Facebook from Nonkumbuzo Mdinzi. One does not have a choice on his or her background. Is it fair to judge people based on that?
Yes, one does not have a choice. That I fully agree. it is not really when you make that decision of checking the background of a person, né? You decide that, okay, this person is coming from this particular. When I talk of background, let me clarify this. I'm not talking of poor or rich. You see, I'm not talking of that. There are things, the values in which the background of a person a believer also, or the values of that background. What do they believe on? Because if they believe on things that at a later stage will cause problems, then still, as I mentioned earlier on, you feel the emotional feeling, you get excited, but when you have to live with the person, those values of his background, they do surface, and you will have to be stuck with those values of that background, you see. And then you must do yourself a favor that, no, man, I don't believe that if according to your values, you don't believe that you have to. I'm not trying to discriminate. I just want to make an example. I know this might be discriminating, but I'm sorry. I just want to make an example. If a person is coming from a background whereby they believe that in order for you to earn income or to have money, we might go and lie that so and so committed rape, and then so that that person could pay for that. Do you understand? And you will get money out of that. I'm just making an example. Those are the values which you can never subscribe to. Remember, now you are meeting with this person who has been raised on those values, who does not know the difference that when you lie or when you implicate somebody with something that he has not done, what it means. That person knows nothing about that. So now, which means you are inheriting a responsibility of being stuck with that kind of person who has that mindset, who is thinking that like that. And now you will be stuck with it. You will want to correct that person. You will want to teach that person your values, that no, man, what you were taught at your home was not right. The correct values are these. And now you are moving from being a girlfriend or a wife. You are now trying to raise, or you are trying to raise a man who is grown up already. You're trying to teach the person values and principles. You will definitely clash and you will fight all the time. So it's up to you. When I talk of background, I'm not talking of rich and poor, but what do they believe in? What are their values? What are their values? What is it that is keeping them as a family? So if they don't believe in unity, they fight, they are not talking to each other, and that person comes with that anger from that and all those things. So now, which means you are inheriting a responsibility of trying to undo the things that the person has been taught in his past life.
Thank you, sis. I think Usis Nongombozo uphendulekile. I think from my side, that's all. But as I said before, there are quite a lot of points that you mentioned that stood out for me, especially the part where you just alluded on about knowing yourself, the background, the culture, and the religion of yourself and your partner, for that matter. Because sometimes I think the way that we're raised, it has a lot of effect on us and how we relate to the outside world, and it does in turn affect our relationships. For example, I grew up in a strictly Christian background. I know nothing else. Well, I knew nothing else but Christianity. I knew nothing else but church. Indoors amasiko and all the traditional things that we do as amaXhosa. I was never exposed to growing up. It's only now that I am learning. So that has had an effect on how I have in my space. And it has had an effect on some of the relationships that I've had, because I've never understood about amasiko enziwa xa kutheni, and mhlawumbi le nto ndingekatshati nangoku because ndandisithi asoze ndiyohoda mna ngoba ayenziwa loo nto ekhaya. Abantu abendela ekhaya abathiywa nothiywa, you know, those type of things. So I think izinto zithethileyo.
Sorry to interrupt you. the example that you have just made is, I think, might help to answer unonkumbuzo. This is a very good example of amasiko and the Christianity. Let's say you get married to, let's say a lady is a born-again Christian. They don't want anything to do with amasiko. They don't even want to hear the word about amasiko, because when you are flexible, you are saying now you are starting to learn and understand. They don't even want to understand. Do you understand? Yes. You get married as a born-again Christian, getting married to somebody who is doing amasiko. We understand? Then there will be a constant fight in that marriage, because the husband will always want to go and do izinto zakokwabo in his own way. And yet you, as a woman, you don't believe in that. And whenever you go there, you are not happy about the things which are being done there. And some of the things you don't even want to apply on your children. Remember, isiko, they move from yourself to children. Yes. You don't, as a woman, you don't even want those things to be applied on your children. That's the background in Goku that is surfacing between the two of you. And if you do yourself a favor, knowing that age putting a band hand, but I was thinking like when I definitely we understand. But when you count into that, and this will because you'll end up, I'm an attorney by profession, I've done divorces which are emanating from that, because Lumfaza and Mameli Lumfazi does not want to become a party, and to that person, isiko is something that is the big. Do you understand? That he cannot compromise. So you will be sitting with a problem. So that's why it is important when I talk of checking the backgrounds, those are the issues of the background.
Thank you so much. I don't know if Mfundisi Ngcombo, you are still with us. If there's nothing else that you would like to talk about, we don't have any more questions on Facebook. But there was one comment from Uxolisa Sompeta who said, I wish more men were listening to this. I'm not sure how she knows what the viewership is, but yeah, that's the comment that we have. Yeah, from my side, I think that's all. Mfundisi Ngcombo, are you still with us?
Hey.
He seems to have disappeared, but it is 18:54. I think we have about 5 more minutes. So I did say that I had a lot of points that I had jotted down. So let me continue, okay? What do you think about the attraction of older men? What do you think causes that?
Attraction to older men?
Yes.
Okay, young ladies being attracted to older men. Yes. Okay. Some of them they get attracted by different things, né? But some of them they want that luxurious life that an older man can provide, because remember the peers, they are still struggling in life like them, so they are not able to provide the things that they want. So they are there for security, others, financial stability. Others, they are there for stability. They feel that if they date younger men, they are still playing. They're not serious about relationships. So if I date a bit older man, I will find stability, someone who will be able to love and respect me, although that is not guaranteed. That if he is old, is going to give you a genuine love, is going to respect you, is going to treat you in a good way. Because we have seen some of the older men, they tend to bully the young ladies. Yes, some of the older men, they tend to bully them instead of providing what the young lady was expecting. But all that I can say, when you fall in love, you must fall in love for good reasons, genuine reasons, not for security of any nature. You see? Absolutely. And as I've already said, you must check if this person, his love pleases you. If the love does not please you, the age does not matter. Do not fall in love or do not arouse love.
Thank you, Siswam. You did speak about prioritizing. I think what we fail at sometimes, especially as young people, we don't prioritize ixesha lethu when we find ourselves in a relationship. Because I know sometimes we don't even plan to get in a relationship, we find ourselves in relationships. And the fact that we're oblivious to how much time a relationship takes, we don't think about the adjustments that we have to make, as you had previously mentioned. And of course, this, like you said, has got a huge impact on how the relationship turns out. So that's one of the things that also stuck out with me. And also the cleaning of your house. You put it very nicely. There's a lot of things that one has to take into consideration when you get into a relationship, because we all have baggage, I suppose, and it's very important to clean up that house. Thank you so much, Siswam. Is there any closing remarks that you have?
Okay, all that I can say to the young ladies, if you want true love, just check the timing for the love that you want. You must understand yourself and what you want, know yourself, and you must have self-discipline and control. Learn to say no. If it is not exactly what will please your heart, please say no. Don't just enter into a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship or because you are emotionally aroused by the emotions or you're pushed by the emotions. Don't do that. And you must keep in mind that love is beautiful and love is a gift from God, and actually God is love. So just good luck in finding love. Wish you all the best in your lives. Good night.
Indeed, Siswam, love is patient, love is kind. And I think these are things that we even forget sometimes. We don't often make reference to the Bible, but love is there in the Bible. Like you said, God is love. Thank you so much. Thank you to our viewers at home. We've seen all the comments, we've seen all the shout outs as you were calling out all your friends. Sis Nobisa, dibonile pha uba ungumangwanya. Hayi ke ungudadewethu, yile nto ke le conversation iye yaqhuba kakuhle.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jose. Wow. Okay.
Okay, let me just read this comment because we've got 1 more minute. From Umzwama Dotamae. Thanks, Noiza. Indeed, this is a good presentation. It forms part of premarital counseling for those who want to commit in a lifelong relationship. Indeed, it does. I'm hoping we'll meet again outside of this platform.
Yes. And they must go, please, and like Nwabisa Talks Facebook page.
I will be the first one to do so.
And Instagram, yes.
Thank you so much, Siswam.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.